Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to my fourth day of 12 Days of Christmas. And thank you for those who have messaged me to say how much they enjoy the theme of the light. And it's a really important theme because the light of Christ has come into the world. And it's come through this beautiful person, Jesus. But we get so caught up sometimes in this lovely image of a babe in a manger. I mean, who doesn't love a beautiful scrawny little squirmy sort of baby in a crib? Who doesn't like that image? But it's much more than this. The story of Christmas is so much more than this. There are highs and lows, and today is a low point in the story of Christmas because it's the killing of the innocents in Matthew 2 verses 13 to 18, where Herod, in trying to eliminate the threat of Jesus, has all the boys of 2 years of age and under killed in Bethlehem. And it's a terrible, terrible story. And it's a terrible story that reminds us that when God encounters the world will sometimes react very negatively. And in this case, it's the most heinous of ways in which the world and powers to be can react. And the story of Christmas, therefore, moves very quickly from wonder to sorrow. Only days after the angels sing and Magi kneel, we're confronted with violence, fear, and grief. And on this day, the church remembers the holy innocents, the children of Bethlehem, whose lives were taken because the light of the world has entered the darkness. And Matthew tells us that when Herod hears of the child born King of the Jews, he's not curious, neither is he hopeful. He is afraid, he's terrified, in fact, and fear, when mixed with power, so often turns violent. Herod's response exposes a truth that we would all rather avoid, that the coming of Jesus is actually not harmless. The light simply does not comfort, it confronts us, and it demands of us a choice, demands of us a response. The light, Jesus, threatens unjust power, false security, and systems built on fear and control. And the birth of Jesus reveals God's reign, and Herod knows instinctively that if this child lives, his own way of ruling cannot remain untouched. So the world, in this case Herod, resists the light, just as it always has. But yet, let us notice, please, where God is in this story. God does not stand at a safe distance from the suffering. The angel warns Joseph in a dream, and the Holy Family flee by night. The Son of God becomes a refugee before he can even speak a word. The Word made flesh knows exile, danger, and displacement right from the very beginning. And this matters because it tells us that God is in solidarity with the vulnerable. And this solidarity with the vulnerable is not theoretical. God knows the fear of parents trying to protect their child. God knows what it is to cross borders in desperation. God knows what it is like to live under the shadows of violent power. And when we speak, as we often do, of God's compassion, we are not speaking of sympathy from afar, but of a presence from within, right amongst us. But despite all this, Matthew does not soften the horror. He quotes the prophet Jeremiah. A voice was heard in Ramah, wailing and loud lamentation, Rachel weeping for her children. Scripture does not rush past grief. It names it. Faith does not deny the pain of the world or offer easy explanations. On this day especially, the church dares to say that lament belongs actually within our faith. Walking by faith does not mean pretending that the darkness is not real. It means trusting God's promise, even when we cannot yet see how it can possibly be fulfilled. The children of Bethlehem do not die because God is absent, but because the world is broken. Yet, even here, God is at work, not in Herod's palace, but in the quiet obedience of Mary and Joseph, in the fragile safety of a child carried into Egypt in a promise that cannot be extinguished by violence. You see, dear friends, Herod will pass away. Empires will rise and fall. Organizations such as the church will have times of great good and of great evil. But the light that Herod tried to destroy will continue to grow, and one day will expose every injustice, whether it be in government, in society, in the church, or wherever, and it will wipe away every tear. So on this day of remembrance and sorrow, we hold together these two truths. Grief is real, but hope is deeper. God is present where innocence is lost, where power abuses and where families flee in fear, and the light, though threatened, is not overcome. This is not a sentimental Christmas story. It's a courageous one, and it invites you and me to walk by faith, not by denying the pain of the world, but by trusting that God's light is already shining within it, and that light, the light of Jesus Christ, will have the final word. The Lord be with you.